Hi guys, here's something a bit different. Found this in the car park. Clearly somebody's cut a lock off. I assume they've cut it off a bicycle or something. And slung the lock away. Well, nothing I can do about the fact it's been cut off somebody's property. I just thought it'd be interesting to see if we can actually open it. I mean, the usual way is to put a bit of tension on there. Ideally, with that bit in place, you'd hold it like that to get some tension on it, and then you'd turn these until they go loose one at a time, and that should allow the shaft to pop out. But being as it's cut, we can't do that. I suppose I could drill a hole in it and put a spring on it or something to put tension on it. I did notice it's got a seam around the edge, so I thought we could actually have a look. I assume this is some sort of rubber case or rubberized case. Looks like it might come apart. That just might make it easier to have a look inside. This is just sort of, as I say, rubberized trim or something, or plastic. It does give the impression that might come off. Get something a bit bigger to wiggle it with. What I don't want to do is to stab myself on camera, although that'd probably make a good video for somebody to watch. It does give the impression it's coming loose. I might need a second screwdriver. So say this is just a plastic protective case, I suppose. Clearly a couple of threads go through there. I'd better get something to put on the table before I damage the surface. I expect I could stick a cold chisel in there and actually smash it open. It's not exactly what I want to do. I can actually see the shaft moving up and down in there. I wonder what that is. I think this is just what was holding the plastic case on. I don't think getting these undone will make any difference. I might go and give it a tap with a hammer just to finish that round there. In case you're wondering, I did sit and have a go at doing the old tension and twist, but these were really stiff to move. Actually, they seem to have loosened up now that I've been doing this. I wonder if they've loosened up enough to... It keeps going stiff. I'm wondering if somebody had cut it off because it had gone faulty and they couldn't actually undo it. Because these are very stiff to turn. And you can normally just spin them. Yeah, I'm going to give it a tap, see if we can just finish getting it apart. Right, after a fair amount of persuasion, I've got a big enough gap in it that I can actually see on this side where that goes in. When that's out of the way, there's a pin up the middle. Let's put the light on. Right, there's a pin up the middle. It's bent, and I'm just trying to tap it through from the other end with a bit of bicycle spoke. But I think that holds the two sides together on this side. Obviously, we can't see the other side, but that seems to be moving out as I'm tapping through. So I'll carry on and see if we can drive that all the way out. There we go. That's just dropped out. You can see it's bent. That's where I've been trying to force it apart. So that was holding this side together. I expect there's probably something similar on the other side that we can't see. Still, we'll see if that's helped. I'll try and lever it apart now. Yeah, that was holding it together. So we'll go back in the other room where the camera's on the tripod, and we'll see if we can finish getting it apart so we can see inside. There wasn't actually a brand name on it anywhere, so I don't know whose it is. But we'll be able to see inside in a minute. Right, a little bit more. Oh, that's going to come out now. Or is it? Nearly did. Oh, it's probably a screw, washer or something on the end of it holding it in place. Spring washer. But this is what's actually holding it in place. So I need to get the spring washer off the end of it. That's what it is. Yeah, I'll try giving it a healthy tap with a hammer. Well, I got it apart eventually. I did use excessive force, But it is in pieces now, and I can see why turning those and pulling that would have had no effect whatsoever, because those are not directly connected to that. You have to get them lined up, and this little pivot thing works. When that pivots up, that releases that, which, because I've been messing around there, is actually quite tight in there. And it shouldn't be. That's because I've been trying to release this sort of spring washer in the middle. But yes, that lever has to come up to release that, and you'll notice it also holds that. So it's holding both at the same time, and it has to be pivoted to release. And the pivot is done by this thing, this cage around here. Before we look at that, there's 4 brass springs. One of them is well bent out of the way. I don't know whether I did that or whether it was bent already. I suspect I did it. There's a bit of a shiny bit there where I was trying to force things through. So that puts some tension on them. The little ridges there would have gone into the ridges between the numbers to give you some feedback as you're moving it. This lever at the bottom here, I think, is when you push this down, it pushes that up, and that allows you to change the numbers to set the secret code. So normally that doesn't come all the way down and push on there, but I think that's what that's for. Pushing that down pushes that up, which pushes, there's a little brass bush there that pushes up into the middle of this lot, and that would release the cams so you can turn these to whatever number you want. Right, I can lift. Yeah, if I lift this up and this up, you can see that little cam sticking out from the side of this is what actually lifts this black lever up to either hold that in place or release it. I lift that up and pull it off. There is a spring there to hold everything together. Right, so when these are in the right location, this has to lift up. Hang on. Has to be able to lift up enough to lift that up. I'm showing it too far up just to show you how it moves. Now, what makes that turn? We lift this out of the way. Oh, that was held in place by that, which went up through there and also held the top in place. So that went through there. That's the bit I had to hit out with a bicycle spook from the end there to get it clear. Oh, one thing before I take it apart any further. Let's just put that back on again. I just want to say this is a possibility. Oh, I'll also just say I am not one of those lockpick channels. Anybody who watches me often enough knows I just like taking things apart. So if you want to know how to do this properly, there will probably be one on one of those lockpicking channels. There's plenty of them on YouTube. Come on, don't mess me about. Line up and fit in there so we can get it all in. I just want to show one thing before I take this apart entirely. Right. To release this, this lever, it has to be pushed down there and up there, and then it clears out of the way. When I had this and I was trying to get it apart, I looked down through that hole there. Looks like a screw hole, doesn't it? But if I go down through that hole there, that would actually push that lever out of the way. So I reckon when I'd got that plastic case off, or if you actually knew exactly where it was, you could drill a little hole, and you could poke that down through there, and you would have been, I reckon you'd have been able to force that lever up out the way and unlock the lock without taking it all apart. Anyway, back to here, and I was just going to take this apart. So I've shown you that lever there, I think, is so you can adjust the sequence or the secret code. And the black lever there is the one that actually locks it in place. So we'll take that off out of the way. So what rocks this sort of cage thing? Now if we take this out, come on, out you come. All right, these are the cams, and they got one flat side on them. So I reckon you've got to get them to line up with that one flat side. So that one flat side lines up against this thing. I expect, let's see if we can, as I say, that there's the four of them. If we turn them round, so they're all lined up with each other. Can we do that? We can't do that. Not do it and demonstrate what I'm trying to demonstrate. So back to where we were. Spring pushing down on there, but that was underneath it, definitely. So spring pushing down on there, but it can't go all the way down until all of those line up. I'm happier with that. Yeah, that works the right way. That spring is pushing down on there, but it can't push it all the way down until all of those are lined up, allowing that to go down. And when that pushes down there, it also clears this by coming up the other way. That's it. And this can't tilt unless all those flat faces are in line. Yeah, that's it. And that would sit on there. Yeah. And that would be up through that hole there and there, and it would have been through there. Yeah, that was a long video. Thanks for watching. If you want more information, check down below in the video description. If you like this video, you might like this one up here. And if you want to subscribe, you can check out my channel over here. Up here is my latest video on my channel, and down here is a video playlist associated with the video you've just watched. Thanks again for watching.